Hey everybody, this is Pastor Chris. I am coming to you live from Lexington Park Baptist Church. This is PC Studios. It is September the 19th, 2023. How in the world are you doing today? I hope you're blessed and highly favored by God. Listen, I just got in the office. Marisa, if you're out there, I think I see Marisa, I see Sherry, I see Keith. If you're not out there on the channel signed in yet, make sure you sign in. If you're live with us, it's at facebook.com/Pastor Chris McCombs. But we're also on YouTube channels, Facebook channels, and Twitch. So check us out. If you come in later, you can sign in too. Sometimes I get those posts, and I appreciate everybody that supports and everybody that signs in, everybody that listens every day. Thank you so much. So listen, I hope prayer went good today, Marisa. That's what I was getting at. I hope that was rocking on. Keith, I got WOE from you, so thank you for writing your WOE testimony. I know, Sherry, you said you were going to do. Anybody out there, listen, if WOE has blessed you, write something. As long as it's a paragraph or so, I'm going to put them in the Illuminator this month in October, trying to pump up the word of encouragement, what we're doing about how I preach a sermon and how then I can, expound upon that sermon throughout the next week. And it's for the benefit of the church. So I hope it's a benefit. So I know it takes a commitment to be here every day during your lunch hour. I hope you grab something to eat or whatever, and this works for you. I can't think of a better time, so we're just going to keep it at noon. But if this is a blessing, you do it. I may actually call you up and have you say something also from stage too, and do like a little dialogue testimony. But thank you. Keith, thank you. I already got yours, so I haven't read it yet, but thank you. So today, love unites us in community. So we are known, people know we are Christians by our love. There's a hymn that says that, the Word of God expands upon that. So if we have the love of Christ in us, then the world should see that love, and they should know we're Christ followers because of the love we have for each other. So in the book of Romans, you're dealing with you're dealing with the Roman Empire of that day. They were Greek, they were pagan, right? So they're not Christ followers, not Jewish either. And so you have Paul writing in Romans to a Roman audience, presenting these ideas of Christianity that are brand new, right? I mean, because Judaism just left, Christ is there, Christ has fulfilled the law. Christ is now, death, burial, resurrection has occurred. His ascension has happened, and Paul's writing as an apostle and a missionary these letters that we have in our New Testament. So in verses 9 through 13 in Romans 12, let love without hypocrisy. Let love be without hypocrisy. Detest evil, cling to what is good. Love one another deeply as brothers and sisters. Take the lead in honoring one another. Do not lack diligence and zeal, but fervent in spirit, serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in affliction. Be persistent in prayer. And share with the saints in their need. And pursue hospitality. May God add a blessing to His holy word. So I want to focus on, there's a lot of things in that text. I mean, there's so many things. You could just go point by point by point by point. We don't have time for that, but I want to focus on the love of this. So I want to work backwards. First of all, if we love each other, we should share with the saints. Who are the saints? The brothers and sisters in Christ, the church. So if we have love, we share with the saints and their needs. So if someone has a need, we help. We also, out of love, we pursue hospitality. So we want to be hospitable to one another. We want to have meals together. We want to hang out together. We want to show hospitality towards each other. So love unites us in these pursuits. Pursuit of hospitality, this pursuit of, like it says in verse 13 there, share with the saints in their needs. So now I want to hop, that's the bottom part. So if you love, we should have that. All that other middle stuff like diligence and zeal, fervent in spirit, serve the Lord, be patient in affliction, rejoice, that chapter, verse 11. But now I want to jump back up there to 9 and 10. So 9 and 10 is where it's just packed with love. So after the section we just read before this yesterday was all about the gifts and knowing your part, and then it transitions now, listen, love each other. So right here, love without hypocrisy. What's that mean? Don't be fake. genuine authenticity, Christ-loving, agape love, philia love, the love that's for each other, that it's mutually served, but also a love that goes deeper, that doesn't seek itself. It's hard to love in those capacities in that way, but if we're going to love and be genuine and not have hypocrisy, we have to love with the love of Christ. So it's a love that doesn't seek its own. And so Paul's writing here, let love be without hypocrisy. Don't let it be fake. Don't put on different face masks, hypocrisy, the face mask. We are to love honestly, to love genuinely. So a lot of churches will say they're friendly or they're loving, and maybe they are. And you know what? I'll be honest, because I've been a pastor for so long now, I do go visit churches when I am on vacation and stuff, and it's kind of cool just to see what different churches do. But as far as being able to be there and know if their love is genuine, that's hard to assess on the surface, right? But our love should be real. And I think people should see it. I mean, it should be noticeable that we really want to hang out with each other. And I think that's really what it means. If you love each other, you want to spend time together, right? And so I think when people show up at our church, one, we shouldn't have cliques or factions, and factions really have a negativity to it. Cliques are kind of exclusive. They exclude people. Factions cause problems. So we should have neither one of those groups in our church. That would be love that's hypocritical, right? So if so, and I think it's so fake. Like some people will say that have caused pain in someone's life or hurt, and they'll say, "I love you," and I'm like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. If you loved the church, or you loved us, or you loved me, or you loved this, you wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z, and you wouldn't have left, or you wouldn't have done this or that, right?" So, and we've seen love that's hypocritical. We've seen love that's not genuine. We see love that's erotic, eros, not a sexual love, but eros, as in it seeks itself. It wants what it wants. And that's a Greek love, word for love. And this is not the love. This is the love that Paul's saying to avoid. And so I think when a person walks in, and I do think our church is genuine in this. I really do. And I hear people say this is like coming home. It's like family. I sense a genuineness, a love, and just there's an atmosphere. Now, not everybody experiences. Listen, there are people that come, and a lot of people say what I just said, but sometimes they don't. I don't want to say it's to the eye of the beholder, but maybe some people just don't get it. Maybe their spirit's not right, or maybe they're not looking in the right place, or maybe something turned them off, or maybe they came in from the get-go and they didn't want to, they had a chip on their shoulder, or why someone leaves and says, "I can't see what that person sees, but this person says this and this person says that." That happens everywhere, but overall, are we loving genuinely and authentically and not with hypocrisy? That's what God calls us to. So, and as we do that, then look what happens. We detest evil and we cling to good. So if our love is correct, we should detest the things that are evil and we cling to the things that are good. And then it goes on in verse 10. But love one another deeply as brothers and sisters, and take the lead in honoring one another. So I want us to talk about this component here. One, you and I are to love one another deeply. So there's a text that says that there is nothing that can separate us from the love of Christ, not height nor depth. Listen, the depth of God's love for you has no end. And I keep saying this a lot, that God's love, he can't love you any more and he can't love you any less. He loves you completely. Now, his love isn't necessarily unconditional. We like to say that, but love is not unconditional. Love does require us to love back and to let the love change us. And so if we want to receive love, but not let it change us. That's eros love. We just want it for ourselves. But agape love is going to change you, because agape love is a love that doesn't seek its own. And then philia love, a love of brotherly, like this love right here, where it says right here in this text, it says, love one another deeply as brothers and sisters. So will we philia love, a genuine brotherly love, a concerned love, a giving love? Will we do that and mix it in with agape, so that we're really loving that person for who they are, and we're loving that person so that we wish them the best, and we love that person, because God loves them. They have intrinsic value. We could go on and on and on. We genuinely, deeply, 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 and again, it's a rooted word, right? It's like a well. We are going to love deeply one another. Not surfacey, right? So it's not surfacey. Again, there's no hypocrisy. There's depth to the love. And I think as Christians, we need that. And as your pastor, I want to see a church that's filled with people that want to love this way. That want to let love change them. Let love rearrange them. Let love change our church. Let love change our community. And let love be our guide, the love of Christ that died for us. And that we will love each other genuinely and deeply. I pray that we can do that and do it well. And that we'll continue to grow, because guess what? You can never love enough. We continue to grow in love, because we're not God, right? God loves us completely. He can't love us more or less. He loves us completely. And I want to talk on that just for a minute. I want you to understand God's love in that moment, because it's the love we're supposed to share with each other. This love of God is not based on your behavior or what you do or who you are or how much money you have or what your reputation is, what your past is. It's none of that. The love of God that's given to you is because he just genuinely loves you. He loves all of us, right? Now we know that only those that receive his love does it apply to them, and we call that salvation, right? So, but this love of God that's complete, he can't love you more. In other words, you can't come to God and say, God, why do you love Chris less than me or more than me? Why do you love Sherry or Keith or whoever? God loves us completely, and he can't love us any more than he already does. Nor can he love you less. Listen, you can't do anything that's going to make him love you less, and you can't do anything like to try to earn his love to where he loves you more. God's love is complete, and God's love is self-seeking of your good and my good, which may be not what we want because we're selfish, but what God knows is best. That's the type of love and brotherly love we're to share. And then last, here it says we're to honor each other. And I think we can always do better at this, and I can too. I try to always say much love or much appreciation when I send a letter out. And those two things have stuck with me in my ministry, is that I want people to know that I love them much, and I want to know people that I appreciate them much. I may not always articulate it. I may not always say it. You may not always feel it because I'm hard driving and passionate and intense. But to say that I honor you and I believe in you and I'm grateful for you, and I when you do great things, I want to recognize you and say you're an awesome, awesome church. And I just want you to know that we honor each other. When we do something, we should celebrate it. When we achieve something as a church, we should be grateful for it, right? And we should be in this together. And listen, we should want to outdo each other with honor. Not our own glory, but for the glory of God. I want to honor you for the things that you do that are honorable. And to this day, if you're out here today, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for all you do. I want to thank you for praying for me. I want to thank you for giving to the church. I want to thank you for serving in the church. I want to thank you for being a good friend or a good husband or a good wife. I want to thank you for investing in your community. I want to thank you for doing the community fair. I want to thank you, and I want to honor you because if you do great things for God, that's honorable. So be an honorable person and know that I respect you and honor you for what you do for the Lord. And I hope you do the same for me. Hey, God bless you. Have a great, great day. Know that God loves you, and so do I. You take care now. We'll see you here tomorrow. God bless.